This is the MGTOWinfinium here with another Infinium out and about. This Infinium out and about is entitled Your Narrative, Our Narrative. Now, my brothers, I'm here again at the Chesapeake Lock Park, which I've been here before a couple of times or so this year. And it is a late fall day, very beautiful, very peaceful, although it's getting a little cloudy, so I will probably cut this Infinium out and about short. But my brothers, I just want to talk to you about your narrative and our narrative as MGTOW men. Now, I'm sure you're aware by now that Just Pearly Things, JPT, Pearl, Hannah Davis, or whatever she calls her name by, or whatever she goes by now, her channel has been demonetized. And it's looking like she's going to lose her channels altogether. But my brothers, rather than to do a celebratory video about her downfall, I would like to talk to you about the importance of your narrative and our narratives corporately as MGTOW men. Because one of the things that JPT did, Just Pearly Things or whatever, one of the things that she did overall was to attempt to rob us, we men, of our narratives. And that is both personally as well as corporately. And my brothers, among the other things that she did in terms of regurgitating the content of other content producers and using that to make money off of the backs of we men, other than the jet setting that she did, again, off of the backs of we men, the enslavement of the people that worked for her, paying them mere pittance, and then she was getting all the profit, all those things that she did. The most despicable thing that I find that Just Pearly Things did was to attempt to rob the narrative of men. And in the case of what she did so in particularly in the case of the black manospheres. She totally took control of that space, totally took control of the narrative, and then left it in a state of pure chaos. And of course, she tried to enter into the space that we MGTOW men have, our MGTOW community, but she was not successful in doing that. But yet that intent was there to rob us of our narratives, to speak for us, to say what we have to say. But in the vein that she is trying to help us, she's trying to be on our side, she's trying to align with us, and she believes that men are actually suffering and undergoing burdensome things like being divorce raped, like going through paternity fraud. And she was made to seem like an ally in that regard, that she was on our side, that she, because of her dominance in terms of YouTube, in terms of having a large subscriber base, was able to speak effectively for we men. But my brothers, we should look at what happened with Pearly Things in this way. And that is basically, if we allow women, etc., like her, to control our narratives, both personally as well as corporately, what will result is this. All during Pearly Things' reign, men were suffering, men were brought into court and being divorce raped. They were suffering under paternity fraud. They were going through things like if they smiled at a woman in a grocery store, they could be accused of raping that woman. All these types of things were going on. During the time that she was doing all of these things, controlling our narrative, she had great ability to stop things. Like, for instance, Scotland was in the process of making laws wherein if men just offended a woman, if they were caught and found offending a woman, and let's say they just said something bad to a woman, and that woman found that she was offended by like an offhand statement or something like that, they could be thrown into jail. So all of this was going on. Little progress was being made in terms of setting back paternity fraud. All these things were going on. Things for we men had gotten worse. And so what she did was to, by controlling the narrative, so to speak, set herself up as a go-to to get these things changed. While in the background, all she was doing was lining her wallet with the money that she was making off of these things. And so, my brothers, that's why, again, we must individually as well as corporately be the ones who control our narratives. We must be the ones who speak for ourselves, both individually as well as corporately, not some women like Pearly thinks. That cannot happen, and this should be an example of why that cannot happen. Because again, my brothers, she brought nothing to the table at the end of the day but chaos. She was exposed as a shill. She was exposed as somebody that is not for the men she was saying that she was in advocacy of. That's what Pearly Things was exposed as. And in the process, all that money, all the resources, those things went to her benefit and not for the benefit of the men who truly needed it. All that did, my brothers, was to cause delay in the process of men getting the help that they truly need. It caused also a deflection onto Pearly Things instead of where the light should be fully shone upon. Those men who are suffering in every possible way. That's what this did. That's what happened with Just Pearly Things. There was no benefit to the men that she said that she was in advocacy for, to the men that she was controlling the narratives for. And this is in particular the black manosphere. That's what happened. She took control of that narrative and she basically caused chaos and great devastation to this day because of what she did. My brothers, we should realize that no woman, individually or corporately, can speak for us when we have the mind and the capability to speak for ourselves, both individually as well as corporately. My brothers, again, we have the minds to do these things. We are not imbeciles. We are not idiots. We are not what women, etc. think of us as beneath them, as below them. We are men with minds who can think, who can critically think, and who can assess and speak for ourselves, both corporately as well as individually. My brothers, this is a great example of why we must do the things that we must do in terms of speaking for ourselves, controlling our narratives, controlling our spaces, our communities, everything. This is why what happened with Pearly Things will happen again if we allow it. And my brothers, the only way we can stop this stuff is to not allow these things to happen. And that is not allowing ourselves to be spoken for, both individually and corporately, by women like Pearly Things. They have no intent of helping us. They have no intent of correcting the issues that we face, my brothers. They have no intent of doing these things. And my brothers, we face serious issues. We face all types of issues from our families treating us the wrong way, from being treated the wrong way in the corporate workplace, to just if we go on the street, we can't even go to the gym without having trouble. That's how bad it is, my brothers. We cannot find free spaces to be alone, to just be in a place of just contemplation or just introspection, my brothers. That's how bad this thing is. Everything that we do as men, both individually and corporately, can be deemed as wrong by the state that we live in, the feminist plantation state. That's how bad this thing is. And that's what Pearly Things did in terms of what she's doing. She caused a delay in the correction of this stuff. My brothers, no man should have to undergo the shaming that he encounters in a public gym when he is just minding his business. And because a woman, etc., got mad because he looked up and she felt that he was looking her down, undressing her. No man should have to go through that. The pressure of that, of just not being able to work out in peace in the gym. No man should have to worry about going to a grocery store and being harassed by a woman when he tells her not to talk to him. I just want to be left alone. No man should have to go through any type of situation where he works hard and he is told at the end of the day that he is the one that's causing the problems in the workplace because he just wants to do his job and go home, and therefore he is the one that is being antisocial. He is the one that's causing the problems when it is in fact the women that are harassing him that are causing the problems. My brothers, we are the ones who should speak for ourselves. We are the ones who should do these things, not women like Pearly Things, not these women. Because again, we are the ones who should be listened to. We are the ones who should be listened to, and there cannot be any more conflation or any type of thing where, oh, she's on our side and she's talking about the issues that we're dealing with. All those types of things, that cannot exist anymore, my brothers. And this should be taken as an example of why that cannot exist, because it did not do anything of value. And in fact, it caused more harm than good, my brothers. That's why the main goal, the main purpose of we men controlling our narratives is to not only maintain our freedom as MGTOW men, but to directly address the issues and the things we face in this life as men. And only we should be allowed to do that. No other women, etc., should be allowed to do that, my brothers. That's what it is about. It is important for all of us, and I'm talking to myself, my brothers, that we speak for ourselves. We talk for ourselves. And my brothers, again, the reasoning why we are walking away is because we are not considered worthy of being listened to. And therefore, my brothers, that is another reason why you should go your own way. Because any state, any society which will not consider your worth as a man to be listened to and to be understood, and has to take your narrative and have it to be controlled by a woman in order for your narrative to be heard, that state is invalid in my mind in terms of having any type of support from you as a man. And therefore, you should go your own way. You should go your own way and do what you need to do, my brothers. That's what happened to us. And that's what we must avoid in the future, my brothers. My brothers, in my opinion, this cannot happen again. We should not allow this to happen again. And there should be no more of this thing. And there should be what we need, the correction of these things, the correction of the issues we face. All of these things, my brothers, there should be no more of these things. And my brothers, again, the only way that this can happen, that this can begin, is to not allow this type of thing, specifically what happened with just Pearly Things, to happen ever again. My brothers, you deserve to be heard. You deserve to be listened to. And most of all, you deserve to be understood, my brothers. My brothers, no woman on this earth can ever understand truly what a man goes through. They can never understand. And my brothers, again, we can never let this happen again. And it is important, vitally important, that you individually, that we corporately control our narratives fully to the extent that this stuff does not happen again. I'll repeat, it is important that individually and corporately that we men control our narratives, that this does not happen again, and that we proceed with getting this stuff corrected in our lives, because again, it is about our freedom. It's about who we are as men. And my brothers, free men control their narratives, both corporately as well as individually. Free men do these things. Only slaves allow the controlling of their narratives to the extent where they are kept back from enjoying the things that free men should enjoy or entitled to enjoy. My brothers, again, I will remind you, you are free men, and free men should have the right, should always have the right to control their narratives and to speak for themselves. This is the MGTOW Infinium, and this has been an Infinium out and about. My MGTOW brothers, as always, stay safe, stay strong, stay on the MGTOW path, and remember, MGTOW is the liberation of men's minds. MGTOW cannot and will not be stopped.